welcome back to Ascending Lashes. Hi. Oh, hang on, I'm sitting on my leg. I don't want to be sitting on my leg anymore. Jimmy Eat World. Anyway, hi. We're gonna talk. Hey, is it a collective combo? Oh God. What? Watermelon. We don't have any watermelon right now, but very good job. So this is a collective combo. We're going to talk about weaponized incompetence and spiritual warfare because they are very much the same. Well, I would say it's more of a form of, it's a tactic of narcissism, but narcissism ultimately is spiritual warfare. And I don't need to break that shit down. But I do want to talk about weaponized incompetence. Baby Daddy was here for Tiny's birthday, and he is always doing weaponized incompetent stuff. And so I have a few fresh examples. Sometimes, I mean, I know that this conversation has been going on around women in particular, but I guess this is for, I mean, women, just because men are often within patriarch, men are the ones who utilize weaponized incompetence, and it's kind of this demand of women to use more emotional, mental, and spiritual labor. So it's like invisible abuse, basically. So let's see what the definition is. Weaponized incompetence. A good example is, I mean, this happens to every woman. Oh God, marriage. But like not being able to find the remote, or not being able to find their shoes, or not being able to find the wallet, or I can't find this, or like living in the same house as someone and like not knowing where you keep something in the kitchen, stuff like that. And so that's just my nose ring poking out. And so they, instead of looking weaponized, they repeatedly go to their partner and, you know, demand this emotional labor. Now women, we know where everything is at all times, right? Even if it's a mess, we always know where things are. So, you know, it's a way of expecting us to perform and show up for them. Weaponized incompetence is a passive-aggressive tactic where someone intentionally performs poorly or claims inability to avoid responsibility. So, something that happened this week while Baby Daddy was here, two things. He had been talking about giving me this paint sprayer to do the ambulance. He obtained like a professional grade paint machine sprayer thing. And so months ago, he was like, yeah, I'll bring it for you when I come. Shows up, not here, right? Comes with a whole bunch of other stuff, which is, you know, great, but we had agreed on the one item being the thing with the most precedence to bring, and of course, it didn't come. So that was number one. Number two, the way that he is in my kitchen. Okay, I really have like tons of examples. Makes a huge mess, pretends like he's not doing it. My kitchen is like 2 feet wide. I can't stand it when people are in my kitchen. And I'm, you know, so I'm just like, no, I lost my shit. I was like, you cannot make food in my kitchen ever again. Like, you need to get your own air fryer and bring it with you and keep it at the hotel. You're not doing anything in my kitchen. He spilled like all of this fucking chicken grease all over the fucking counter. And then he was like, I didn't do that. And I'm like, bitch, you're the only one in here. And you have a pan of chicken in front of you. Yes, you did. Like, this is what happened. These are examples of weaponized incompetence. It's just like, fuck you, right? Like, why are you acting like a 3-year-old, okay? You know, and the thing about it that gets me is that I know how he moves when he's not in my space. He moves very respectfully, he moves very honorably, very clean. But when he's in my home, it's a completely different story. And it's just disrespect, right? Blatant disrespect, right? To avoid that responsibility. Another thing was the disrespect of time. So we had to go on a road trip, and it's really hot, and my car I get stressed out in the heat because my car overheats a lot. Or it used to. I think I'm mostly like traumatized. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna go at this time. I called him. I was like, okay, we're gonna come pick you up at 8:45 because I want to be at Walmart in like 30 minutes. So I even gave us like a 15-minute leeway. And actually, me and Niall were 5 minutes late leaving. We didn't leave the house until 8:49. So he had all this extra time. I talked to him at 8:15, make sure he was awake, right? Because I shouldn't have to do that. But again, weaponized incompetence is this inability to, I mean, it's not even an inability, it's a blatant disrespect of just avoiding responsibility, right? Or accountability. In some cases, it's not just about responsibility. And so I was like, okay, so I talked to him at 8:15, and then I don't know, I think we talked twice. I called him when we were leaving, and I was like, okay, we're on our way, we'll be there in like 5 minutes. We pull up, and I was expecting him to just get in the car and be ready to go. I had talked to him twice to ensure that that would be the way things go. Nope. He said he was standing out in the parking lot waiting for us, okay? And he said, okay, well, I have to go do this right now. I have to go sign something at the front desk. I think that's a Jell-O cake. We're probably never going to experience that. Maybe. I don't have one of those pans, though. And so I pull up, and I'm like, okay, let's go, you know, because I check the weather. I do all of these things. I'm like, there's a reason, there's a reason I want to leave there, because, like, between 8:30 and 9:30, it was going to go up, like, 15 degrees in my car, right? And we had to travel. So I had a reason for being in this time frame. That's why I was very adamant about it happening. And so anyway, he goes, okay, well, I need to go to the front desk. So he goes in the front desk. I don't think he did anything to sign. I think he just does the shit to piss me off because he's a narcissist and he tries to get under my skin and he knows I left and he fucking hates me. I don't know. He hates himself. It's a Jell-O mold, honey. Red and white. Yes. Very good job. So then he comes out from the lobby and he goes into his room. And then from his room, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. Then he goes back into the lobby. So like 10 fucking minutes. And narcissists do this thing. This is why I consider this an umbrella of spiritual warfare. Because I'm just repeating it back. It's just like, what a fucking ass. This man needs to get punched in the face, but I can't do it. Anyway, so I'm like, he gets in the car and he's expecting some sort of reaction from me. So all I say is, you're a fucking dick. You know what you're doing. You're a fucking dick, right? So then the last day that he was here, which was Friday, I played his own game at him because that's what I do. I know what you're doing. I don't agree with it. So I ignored him all fucking morning. I didn't say shit to him. I knew he had to check out because he was checking into a different hotel closer to where he has to get on the bus for the last night. And so he texted me at like 10:30 and he was like, hi, what's going on? And I was like, what's up? I'm working. What do you need? And he's like, I have to be out of here at 11. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll be there, you know. I had every intention of going there to get him at 11 because I am not a douche. But I think it's important for people who put energy out to also receive what it is. And I said that to him. I was like, if you don't like the way that I'm treating you, then you shouldn't treat people that way, right? Like, don't be disrespectful of people's time. Duh. And so, I just want to give those examples. Weaponized incompetence is really intense. So then, yeah, like, the last day he was here, after we did go get him, he had one task, which was he always gives the dogs baths because they're big dogs and I just don't have it in me. And one of the things that this man always does is he pretends to be more important than he is while he's visiting. So what he decided to do for a while was sit outside and sulk because he can't play games with me anymore, first and foremost. And then he went to the car and he was like, I need my notebook. And so he sat outside and pretended to do work. And then I was like, hey, are you gonna do the dogs or no? Because like that's the one thing to do today. So I've learned that I have to give him tasks. So I was like, I need you to go to the store and get soap for the dogs. And he, within 2 seconds, he was like, okay, because he wanted something to do. He wanted to get the fuck out of here. So he did the dogs, and Niall, and I was cleaning the house. So I was like, everybody stay the fuck outside. So Niall was outside playing with the hose, taunting his father. Yay. And, you know, and I go out to check on everybody, make sure the dogs were done. And Niall's flopping around in the pool because he used one of the pools for like the water. Usually we do the dogs inside, but I was cleaning inside, and plus it's like really fucking hot, so I was like, no, that'll be fine. You can do them outside. And so he gets all mad, and he's like, you, what did he say? You set me up. He said, you set me up, keeping him out here. You know I can't watch him and do the dogs. I'm like, you did it. You got everything done. And I told him later, because he was all like, Niall's doing this and this and this. And I said, you know what? You may be annoyed, but Niall's going to remember that as one of his best memories with you. So, like, leave him alone. Because he's a kid, and he was having fun, and he was, like, splashing. And I'm sure he tried to help his dad, and, you know. And I said, and plus now you get to feel how I feel. Well, for, you know, I haven't had a day off in 6 fucking years. You were facilitating that situation for about an hour. So, don't be such a dick to me. Right? So anyway, I just wanted to put this here. Those are examples of weaponized incompetence, of conflict, of ways in which narcissists, or just really unhealed people, I mean, he is a narcissist, but he's also very unhealed. They don't take accountability. They don't take responsibility. They never see themselves as being in the wrong. They will always choose to manipulate a situation to be on top. And eventually they will receive their karma. So, I hope you haven't experienced this, but again, within patriarch, most women, I would say probably all women, have experienced weaponized incompetence from at least one man in our lives. And I am doing my part to not raise a human like that. I don't know how I'm doing, but it scares me. It scares me to know that genetically these traits are there for him. And I have a hard time with that sometimes, but I'm doing my best. So, don't utilize weaponized incompetence, and recognize it when it is happening to you. Have a good one.